Would you believe that humanity already achieved the requested technology to control the weather? Would you believe we can already bring summer during winter and spring during summer, whatever? That seems very good. That seems the progress. That seems very good. That seems the progress we need, overcoming some climate change. But here's the problem, they don't want to give us hope. We have a lot of conspiracy theories regarding the Blue Beans Project, in which they would project Jesus Christ image to the sky in holographical technologies used. Well, that was never a plan for giving us hope. That is a plan for taking us the whole hope we could have. Because if Jesus Christ come back again, we will never know, is that real? So that's a shame for us as Christians, that we've created so much crap, so much technology, and we can't even recognize what is the real phenomenon, the real miracle. So imagine if some individuals could already see that happening. Would that be Christian? I mean, the apocalypse says we all would see the Jesus second come. And the reason why I'm telling you these things is we may be controlled in our beliefs because of the technologies regarding the climate change. Well, there is some regions in the world that could be affected directly by some interventions. Imagine snow in Rio, or maybe summer in Siberia. That's very insane, but that's not impossible. So the capital commands the world, and we need to be submitted to the capital. What is the capital? Is the capital the leftish part, the progressist part, the whole idea of living communism in a certain extreme point of view? We all know what that means. Economical change and more guarantees and rights to the population. Well, that's very sad, thinking we are so humiliated. We are treated as animals to the point of deserving nothing but be by our own in this world. You know, that's at the same time the only truth I believe in. And I hope to be safe. I hope to be saved by believing. Doesn't matter who I am, doesn't matter if I'm gay, it doesn't matter if I am PWD, I have love vision, and I don't believe that is some kind of punishment of God over me, but I believe I believe in Jesus, and that if we are true of heart, when we see the second coming, we will feel inside of us that something is righteous, something is the hope of this world, and we will know if we deserve. And it doesn't matter the crazy ideas we have about the future, if Antarctica should be summer land or Brazil should be winterland, you know, because we are just that, you know, that poor humanity of all times. We are testing God, we are making science all the time in order to save ourselves from ourselves. And we never know what to do. So I miserably forgive all leaders around the world for whatever happened, if that technology really exists, because we're talking about conspiracy theories, obviously, you know, and I'm an enthusiastic of conspiracy theories, I may assume, but you know, as an admirer of the minorities, you know, some identitary ideas, I think that's not a shame to, you know, support, because that's what Jesus would do. And I get some concerns about that. I've seen a lot President Trump supporting gay community. I don't know if that was fake news or what could that be, but that give me some light about how friendly even conservatives could be in relation to that all. Regarding the whole problem, I I just may assume that the global capital, they know what they are doing, because we we are a species that lives like that since always. It always have been like that. We don't know to do nothing but exchange, and we exchange our work for money, and money is the ruler of our lives. And that's not the demon, you know, because we are always, you know, learning since we are childs to be rewarded about our merits. And we are not rewarded about our merits making money when we are kids, but that's what it represents. So I mean, I may look like a dumb person to you because of my Christian beliefs right now, and I'm sorry, but that's all I can say. Uh, the conservatives, the religion, the religious people, they defend capitalism for a reason, and it's not a bad reason. And I've been living in a country, Brazil, which is very leftish, and we have been some uh, some days of, you know, there is some censorship accusations against President Lula, and the media can even talk about that. they can't talk about that. That's very tragic. And my page on the internet, they've been suffering a lot of loss. I don't know what may happen. I don't know if I will be in there for much time, but I will hope my message give you. You could reach my message. I mean, you could uh, somehow please be hopeful and don't be resistance. Don't try to oppose yourself to what they thought it would be better for the world. And they thought the world would be better as the world is already. We don't need another revolution. We don't need another bloody revolution like what happened in past history in some places. And please be aware that you will be respected. I hope, and for what you are, as I hope I will be respected for what I am. And that's it. That justify a lot what I've been telling you at my pages. I've been accusing me of have some secret identities as a Brazilian spy. I told you that would be a fan fiction. I mentioned some famous people trying to get their attention, and they may get me wrong thinking I would just like money when actually I just needed some attention. So I ask you sorry if I mistake ourselves to this point. And I would be a glad person getting rich, getting respected, as I could be forgiven about my past life as a spy, like President Putin, you know, and that's it. You may laugh, you may not believe me, you may think I am the whole conspiracy theory because I told you about Ragnarok and I used some figures of language that you would be scandalized, and I could just defend myself by arguing that social media can be edited by censorship around the world, as they could put on uh, some algorithm uh, obstacles. I mean, you could simply not be delivered. Your message could be shadow banned. I assume the whole things I told you on the internet and everything has a reason, a very specific reason, and the reason why mainly is I developed the reverse brainwash method at my home, in which when they try monitoring me, I can input in their minds certain ideas that could change their system of beliefs involuntary. So that is the reason why I talk a lot about religion in some bad and terrifying ways, unusual for telling you the truth. but I'm a very spiritualized person. I believe in God and Jesus, and I respect a lot the Jewish people. I could say that all to you that I deliberately used the religion knowledge trying to save my life, uh, promoting some distortions that I'm not proud of. And I invite you not to search about what that meant to me and what that could have meant to the involved spires in my case. But right now I'm fighting even for death penalty in Brazil. I believe the organized crime is as much as dangerous as serial killers in United States because crime is serial in Brazil and that needs to stop. And if they buy judges and if they buy they have bought the Supreme Court, you know, that's an accusation and a conspiracy theory maybe, but if they can do that, if they could possibly do that, they the ministers of justice they could just defend themselves by using death penalty, and that's the whole thing I'm involved in. I told you about a hypothetical nuclear program developed during Brazilian dictatorship of 1964 started there that time, and there is much you don't know about me as I've been protecting the parallel royal blood of Peter the First Emperor of Brazil, Dom Pedro I. The story is very shocking, and I had the help of the man who recruited me, and, and he was a British lord, Sir Oscar Lewis St. Cloud, or St. Claremont. I don't even know his uh, real name, and he was my English teacher during my teenage time, and he used to give me some orientations about what to study and how to organize ideas and what should I be worried about. And without him, I wouldn't uh, come to the point of uh, tell you about Brazilian nuclear program. So he was a very important man to his country and to the USA media, and maybe he was a very uh, discreet personality living in the shadow, but you know there there's a lot of story about him I would like to tell you, like uh, as the his parents they really changed the world during the Second War, and he he leave me a very important legacy in terms of spirituality and Christianity to the future of some Vatican secrets, the apostles of Christ. Uh, the apostles of Christ is the real uh, Graal, the Saint Graal, the Sangreal, uh, the Sangreal, Sangreale, the Linea Rosia, the apostles. They were the ones who left descendants to this world, descendants that turned into kings, and kings that preserved that secret. And that's something the church is ashamed of and try to hide, because the apostles, they should be saints, but they were not. As Peter were married, and when he traveled the world, you know, preaching, he also got married child. And well, that's a very complicated situation, but there is much more you should know.